In this tutorial, we're going to look at how to record a herbicide application. We're in Main Menu, we go to Enter Data, we go to Spray Diary. You'll notice when this screen opens up, it's actually opened up with the activity of spraying. In this case, we want to go to herbicides. And when we choose herbicides, we get only those machines which are designated as herbicide machines. We're going to choose the Enviromist. Everything else across the top is fine. We're going to choose Roundup to go in the tank. I just hit the letter R and up it comes. You'll notice that the default rate is 1 litre per hectare. Most of the other examples we've done when we've been looking at foliar applications, the chemicals have been set to a rate per 100 litres. With herbicides, they're normally set to rate per hectare. This is the decision as to which type of rate you use is purely up to you. The program will handle both. But in this case, we're using rate per hectare. And you'll notice that unlike when we're using a rate per 100 litres, it won't calculate how much goes in the full tank. It can't do that with rate per hectare until it knows what the spray volume is going to be. Once it knows that, it will then put the correct quantity of chemical that goes in a full tank. Our next step is to go to Select Blocks. The first thing to notice is up in this top right hand corner, normally with a foliar spray the full row width is selected and ticked. In this case it is partial row width because it knows that the herbicide unit is not spraying the full row. This herbicide unit, the Enviromist, has been set at a rate of 2.5 metres per row. If that on this occasion is not the width that you're using, you can overwrite it for this one-off occasion. Next time you use the Enviromist, it will go back to using 2.5. But in this example, we'll stay with 2.5 as the cover. And we're going to be using a calibrated rate of 100 litres a hectare. We're also better choose some blocks. We're going to spray the avocado blocks, and we apply spray to blocks. Now when it does this, it calculates the total hectares, but the total hectares in this case is not the total hectares of all the blocks, it is the total sprayed hectares, so it is the 2.5 metres per row calculation, so the number of 2.21 is considerably less than the total hectares of these blocks combined. It's telling us we'll use 3.68 vats, or tanks, at a rate of 100 litres a hectare. The only other thing we might need to do is to put something in the comments box. Let's, for the fun of it, put in, please record quantity applied per block, which is something you may want to do, especially in the early piece, just to keep an eye on whether each block is recording the correct amount of water against what GrowData is predicting. We can then throw up the instruction sheet. The instruction sheet is the same as it looks with the Spray Diary foliar application instruction sheet. Identifies the machine we're using, the gear settings we need to achieve our 100 litres a hectare, the chemical, the rate, the quantity per full tank is 600 ml. The quantity in that part tank, which is the 0.68 of a tank, is 408 ml. The total quantity of chemical we're going to use for this whole job is 2.2 litres. The blocks that will be sprayed, the rate they're being sprayed at, and the individual number of vats or quantity of vats or tanks per block that are to be used. There's our instruction sheet down the bottom. It also has an alert identifying that the spray width on this machine should be set at 2.5 metres per row. The operator will fill in the number of tanks or vats used at the end of the day, the start time, or the total hours taken for the job, the weather conditions if necessary, and again that will be handed back to the office. So that's a straightforward herbicide application. Again, the same thing can be done in the screen if the block isn't sprayed or is partly sprayed. The same functionality applies where you can remove a block or you can put a percentage of the block sprayed in the screen and do recalculate. Also again, if for some reason the total quantity of vats used was not the same as was predicted, you can go into the select blocks, you can change the total vats used, enter that, and it will recalculate based on the number of vats that were actually used. With herbicide applications, there is often the question asked about applying the spray to areas other than blocks, so spraying headlands or along the side of tracks, etc. And we'll address how to manage that in a separate video tutorial.